We need to talk about the Edge of Fate. Is it good? Just right off the bat, is it good? Yeah, kinda, yeah. Better than Lightfall, I would say. There's a lot of good and some bad stuff towards Edge of Fate, but I do think what it reveals is the potential for promise in Destiny 2 again, and that is nice to see. Anyways, before we get into the review, let's talk about my good friends at Events GG. If you use my pinned comment down below to buy some Events GG, that helps me out a ton. And also, if you use my code Spycer10, you get 10% off, which means you can get high quality energy drinks cheaper. And I get a kickback from that. I do get paid for that, and it helps out a lot with the channel. Anyways, back to the review. Anyways, a lot of people are comparing Edge of Fate to Lightfall. And I do think that is a little fair, because it's kind of like a mirror image of Lightfall. Both expansions had massive changes to the core gameplay of Destiny. Where I believe Lightfall killed build crafting, I think Edge of Fate's kind of bringing it back. I do like the 6 stat setup. You know, you got health, you got 4 stats for your abilities, you got weapons, 5 stats for your abilities. Forgot about supers. Never mind, I included the first time. It's 4 stats for your abilities, plus weapons, plus health. Good, done. Okay. And these stats, once you get past 100, so you're specialized in a stat, you get an additional benefit, and that's sick. We have armor set bonuses. Oh! This is what I've wanted for so long. Armor set bonuses. That way, inspired by Gambit Prime itself, my goat. You get extra benefits for using armor sets that go together. Something that I hope that they refresh old raids and dungeons with in the future, because I want that content to be evergreen. You should always want to do raids and always want to do all the dungeons and all that stuff, you know? Also, there's weapon tiering, you know? Weapons can drop at higher tiers, meaning that they have more perks. They drop with enhanced perks, all this stuff. The loot grind is more rewarding. And it's not cut fucking all the way down by fucking weapon crafting anymore. It's beautiful. I love it. So a lot of the quality of life improvements in Edge of Fate are kind of undoing the quality of life changes they did in Lightfall, which ended up making the game, in some instances, worse. In my opinion, at least. Also, the game is kind of cheaper now, a little bit. I would still recommend Edge of Fate-wise waiting until it's on sale first to buy it. Because Destiny's just expensive, and it's a fucking video game, man. Wait till it's on sale. For the most part. Edge of Fate does give me hope for the future, though. Whereas Lightfall made me dread the possible future of Destiny 2. So, as we all remember, Lightfall, terrible story. The gameplay was pretty alright, though. Edge of Fate, complete 180 of that. Story is possibly one of the best stories told in Destiny. Unfortunately, to experience said story, you have to do shit with Matterspark. And here's... Matterspark puzzles are kind of boring and they suck. If they weren't part of the campaign, it'd be fine. If it was just the post-campaign stuff and the exploring on Kepler, that'd be one thing. Or if you had to use it like 3 fucking times in a campaign, which it is a pretty long campaign compared to a lot of Destiny campaigns. So that's good work, Bungie. I like that. My number one issue with Matterspark isn't so much that it's boring. It's that it gives me the one issue I've never had in Destiny. Well, some people are having issues with the flashing of it, and they're like, bro, I don't even have epilepsy, and this shit's starting to get to me a little bit, which is crazy. A lot of people had motion blur turned on when Edge of Fate update came out. But for me, I can't stand Matterspark because, call me a little bitch if you want, I get a little motion sick from time to time. It's just, it is what it is, man. I can't control it. Games with motion blur, that fucks with me a little bit. It's more annoying than sickening. View bobbing, like Minecraft. If I play Minecraft, the first thing I have to do every time I boot up Minecraft is double check that I have view bobbing off. Because if it's on, I will vomit after like 10 to 20 minutes. And some games are worse. Like, a lot of indie horror games are really bad about view bobbing. I have had to refund games like within 30 minutes of buying them on Steam. I don't like indie horror that much, but I have friends that do. And they'll be like, yeah, you should try this game. And then I play it for like 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm not playing this shit. I can't play Repo. I can't play Repo because of view bobbing. Destiny, in the now almost 11 years it's existed, I have never, ever had a nauseous moment other than like playing Crucible and wanting to throw up, among other things, to my body. That was a bad joke. Sorry about that. But Matterspark does give my motion sickness some time in the ring. You know, it goes a couple rounds with me. So whenever I see that I have to do Matterspark to progress in a mission, I sighed. After I did stream day one stuff, and the first time I went to Matterspark, it does this weird thing whenever you initiate it. I think it wants you to face a certain way, so it's going to spin you around like 5 times until you're perfectly facing whatever way they want you to. So your camera's whipped around. And when Portal whips my camera around, I love Portal. I love Portal 2. I have no issue with those games, ever. But Matterspark made my stomach churn, especially the more I played and the more I had to deal with Matterspark. If I'm saying this just genuinely. Let's say I'm giving, I'll give the campaign of Edge of Fate a 7.5. If Matterspark wasn't a factor, or if it was featured less heavily, I would give the campaign an 8 to 8.5. It alone detracts quite a bit from the campaign. The relocator Scorch Cannon thing, I like that. I'm fine with that. Matterspark in a vacuum doesn't sound that bad, but it's the motion sickness and the frequency of it that bothers me. I would rather play light fall campaign on Legendary. Another thing about Edge of Fate, oh my god, the enemies are tanky. Not so much that they're tanky, they're more spongy. I do like the new enemy types. I know people are like, oh, these are just vandals that fly. Brother, Corsairs are cool as shit, actually. I really like how Corsairs play. New flying enemies, which I didn't think I would enjoy that in Destiny, but I kind of do. I kind of like fighting flying enemies. They have dual pistols, and they can slam the ground around you to do quite a bit of damage and knock you around. It adds something to combat. There's also the imp swarms for the Vex. Oh, the first time I saw one, it murked the shit out of me. I wasn't expecting it. But now I'm like, actually, this is pretty cool, you know? I kind of like this enemy. I have to shoot all of the little imps swarming around the main one before I kill the main one. Otherwise, I'm going to have a volley of nuclear bombs sent to my address. Personally, I think the Portal could be done better. I feel like my biggest problem with the Portal, sorry, I'm jumping from the campaign to other like UI and QOLs, is my biggest problem with the Portal is probably the desaturation of the directory. Add Kepler to the directory, why not? I just like the directory because it's what I've always known, and I feel like once you've played like a decent amount of Destiny, that feels more natural and also gives you different kinds of customization. You know what I mean? Anyways, Portal just, it doesn't, I think Kepler will be added to directory after Renegades comes out. That's my assumption, which I'm hopeful for Renegades. I'm assuming it'll have a narrative that's probably on par at least with Edge of Fate, and hopefully gameplay that's better and more engaging. Again, Edge of Fate's gameplay isn't just a mixed bag of dog shit. It's not Curse of Osiris. It isn't by any means. But gameplay wise, I think I would rather play Lightfall's Legendary Campaign. I'd rather play through the Final Shape gameplay wise. I'd rather play Witch Queen gameplay wise. Forsaken, I'd rather play that. There's just not, it's just okay. Like, there's some cool stuff, I guess, gameplay wise, but man, there's so much matter spark that it really makes this expansion worse. I'm gonna be honest. If it was just the post-campaign stuff and, you know, exploration, that's fine. But it's so integral to doing anything in the entire expansion, and it gets so tiring. It makes me so nauseous every time. I wish there was a way that they could fix that in any sort of fashion. But it is what it is, I guess. Anyways, I can't really label a full review over this expansion right now as the raid isn't out. But hey, you know, just a fair warning. I guess there's a battle pass to pay for like 3 months from now. But other than that, Edge of Fate seasons and stuff, free. Like all the content, free. It's just the 2 expansions a year and the 2 other reward passes that you have to pay for. So, you know, it is what it is. Pricing wise, kind of cheaper than previous years have been. Well, honestly, they said compare Edge of Fate content size wise to Shadowkeep. I think it has a lot more than Shadowkeep. If it had a subclass, I would say it's on par with Beyond Light, maybe Lightfall, with how much it adds, because it adds a whole destination. I think Kepler, it might not be larger than Neomuna, but it is more detailed. Like, there are actually NPCs on the map that you can talk to, and that's really cool. I want more of that, Bungie. Sorry that I didn't say that earlier, but I do want more of that. I really like that. Neomuna is a big city. It should feel populated, especially now that the Witness is gone. Let's bring the Neomuni back. Come on, fill the streets. Anyways, I guess that's about all I have to say about Edge of Fate for now without getting spoilery. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Go check out Advanced GG. Go subscribe. Go like. Go comment. All that stuff. Thank you so much for stopping by. And yeah, I'll see you next time.